Okay, let's talk about something that sounds, well, kind of boring. Office documents. But seriously, stick with me here, because hiding behind all those invoices and memos is this secret world of communication, psychology, and even detective work that can literally make or break an entire company.
I want you to picture a business that is just teetering on the edge of a complete meltdown. The phones are ringing off the hook, you've got employees running around totally confused, and the customers are furious. The whole place is just a giant, tangled mess of things that were forgotten and promises that were broken. Now, this isn't some TV show drama, this is the reality for any place that loses control of its paperwork.
So, let's just ask the big question right up front, shall we? What would actually happen if a business just woke up one day and poof, all of its documents were gone? The fallout is way more dramatic than you might think.
It would be absolute total chaos. I mean, without records, you have zero proof of who's paid you or who you're supposed to pay. Important tasks just get forgotten because there's no written trail. Communication pretty much grinds to a halt. And when problems pop up, and trust me, they always do, there's no way to figure out what went wrong. At the end of the day, all of this leads to one place: complete and utter business failure.
So how do we prevent this catastrophe? Well, it all comes down to understanding that documents have two absolutely critical jobs. First, they let people communicate with each other clearly, and second, they create a permanent record of, well, everything that happens. You could say these two functions are basically the antidote to chaos.
To bring order out of all that madness, every office really relies on a team of specialists. Let's think of them as the document heroes, right? Each one has a unique superpower to keep the business running smoothly. So, let's meet the team.
First up, we've got the invoice. Now, this is so much more than just a piece of paper asking for money. It's really a statement of value. It's the document that officially says, hey, here's what we gave you and here's what it's worth. It really sets the whole tone for the transaction.
Next on the team is the receipt. So if the invoice starts the financial conversation, the receipt is what ends it. It wraps everything up, confirms that money and value have been exchanged, and that trust has been honored. It's the proof that everyone did what they said they were going to do.
Now, it's super easy to get these two mixed up, but the key difference is all about the timing of the conversation. The invoice kicks things off by asking for payment. The receipt finishes it by proving the payment was made. You know, one opens a loop, the other one closes it. And getting that sequence right, it's absolutely fundamental to a healthy business.
Our third hero works on the inside, the memo. This isn't just for announcing that there are donuts in the break room. No, it's a tool for shaping the entire company culture. It's how a team stays on the same page, how priorities get set, and how info moves from the top all the way down to the front lines. The way a memo is written really says a lot about the company's communication style.
And finally, the report. Now, while a memo is all about speed and being informal, a report is its serious, super detailed cousin. It's built for depth. This isn't just a summary of data, it's the foundation for making huge decisions. It's what turns all that raw information into insights that actually guide the company's strategy.
So, we've met our four heroes, but here's the secret, the big twist. These documents, they're actually powerless all by themselves. Their real impact isn't about the paper they're printed on. It's about the people who handle them. And that requires a totally different set of skills.
Because every single document, whether it's a simple memo or a super complex report, is really just a conversation between human beings. And you know, wherever you have people, you're going to have emotions. That's why the most important skill here isn't filing, it's emotional intelligence.
Picture this. An angry customer calls you, and they're shouting this exact phrase down the phone. Their invoice is wrong, they are beyond frustrated, and all of that anger is being aimed right at you. How you respond in this exact moment is absolutely critical.
This is where you bring in emotional intelligence. First up, empathy. You have to genuinely try to understand why they're so upset from their point of view. Second, self-regulation. You've got to stay calm and professional, even if you feel like you're being attacked. And third, you have to shift the focus to the solution, promising to figure out what's going on. This is how you de-escalate the whole situation and start to rebuild that trust.
So that brings us to our final, and maybe most crucial skill. Because once you've managed the emotions in the room, you still have to solve the actual problem. And for that, you need to put on a completely different hat.
This is the part where the best document managers become, well, part-time detectives. They use critical thinking to piece together clues, spot things that don't add up, and solve the little puzzles that paperwork is always throwing at you.
It is all about the investigation.
Okay, so here's a classic case file for you. A purchase order lands on your desk, but it's incomplete. Maybe the item number is missing, or the quantity is just blank. You can't just file it and forget it. You've got a mystery on your hands. So, what's your first move, detective?
A good detective always follows a process, right? First, you figure out exactly what piece of information is missing. Then, you start looking for clues in other related documents. Was there an email about this? A quote, maybe? Next, you go straight to the source. You contact the person who sent it. And finally, and this is so important, you update the document, solving the case and making sure the record is accurate for everyone else down the line.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. What does this all really add up to? Well, it's way more than just shuffling paper around. It's a genuine art form.
So here's the main takeaway. Managing office documents is not some low-level task. It is a really sophisticated skill that combines clear communication, sharp organization, a high level of emotional intelligence, and some seriously keen critical thinking. When you get good at these, you're actually mastering a core function of any business.
You know, here's maybe the best way to think about it. If a business is like a body, then its documents are the nervous system. They carry all the vital messages from one part to another, coordinating every single action. Without them, the whole organism just can't function. It falls apart.
And that leaves us with just one last thought. Let's forget the office for a second and just think about your own life. Is it a to-do list? Maybe a calendar app on your phone? A journal you keep? What's the one document that you absolutely could not live without? The one thing that keeps your own personal chaos under control?